What's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is TDS Darth Wage back at you with another video yet again, and in this video, I want to show you how to duel as Emperor Palpatine, also known as Darth Sidious. But before I do that, I want you to understand his lightsaber forms and how to utilize them into his gameplay. So for those who don't already know, Emperor Palpatine was a master of all 7 forms of lightsaber combat. However, he did have a select few lightsaber forms that he primarily used in combat, in which number 1 was Form 4, or the aggression form, in which relied on using the Force to enhance his stamina, reflexes, movement speed, and attack speed, and also using acrobatic flips and kicks with his lightsaber combat. He also used Form 7, or Juyo, in which relied on your emotions, such as hatred for your enemy, fury towards their actions, and fear that they may prevail. He also used Form 6, or Niman, to combine force powers into his lightsaber combat. He was also seen several times using the Jar-Kai technique, in which would be 2 or more lightsabers instead of 1. And finally, there is one that not many know about, in which is not really a lightsaber style or form, but like many other tactics can be used in conjunction with your lightsaber combat. And this tactic is called Dun Mok, in which employs taunts and verbal attacks to weaken your enemy's will. It takes only a few words to expose your opponent's lack of confidence and to lay it out to manipulate. And as we all know, Emperor Palpatine was well known for manipulation. So with all that said, this is basically the summary of his lightsaber style. He used his emotions to deepen his connection to the dark side of the Force. Then, he used the dark side to enhance his stamina, reflexes, movement speed, and attack speed, in which gave him the speed and agility he needed to use unpredictable acrobatic flips and kicks until he caught his opponent off guard. Once he saw a moment of opportunity, he used a force push, a force pull, a force choke, or force lightning to seize the moment of opportunity while laughing and taunting his opponents to destroy them both physically and mentally at the same time. With all that being said about his lightsaber skills, he eventually got so powerful in the dark side that he saw no further need for a lightsaber and relied on the Force alone in combat. He saw them as an inferior weapon in comparison to the power he wielded. He primarily used Force Lightning as a deadly attack, or as a form of torture. He could strike multiple foes at once with his lightning. He could imbue the ground with lightning. Emperor Palpatine became so powerful in the dark side that he could literally create a force storm to destroy the surface of entire planets. So, with all that being said, you can let me know in the comment section if you think I'm correct about what I was saying about Emperor Palpatine. And as you see in the game, he is at the point where he became so powerful that he no longer decided to use lightsabers in combat. And once I kill this Luke, who has gave me one hell of a fight, I will get into actually talking about, you know, the tips and tricks and how I'm using Emperor Palpatine and how you can also use Emperor Palpatine. So this is not going to be your usual tips and tricks that I usually do, where I go to arcade and show these. I will instead just skip right to the gameplay, because without doing that, this is already going to be like I think a 17-minute video or so. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into this. And as you see, we are currently, well, I am currently versing Luke and Anakin Skywalker. And my opponent, my teammate, sorry about that, is literally going to be 100% useless, and I made sure of that. So, here we are, me versus Anakin and Luke Skywalker at the same time, with no way to block, So how am I going to do this? Let's get my teammate out of the way first, thank you. Okay, now that that's out of the way, now what you want to primarily focus on with Emperor Palpatine is baiting your enemies into using their force powers while you dodge at the same time. So what you want to do is you want to run forward and then dodge backwards, like inch your way up little by little, so that way whenever they try to hit you with a force power, your dodge will actually counter the force power that they use on you. Alright? And as you see, another thing that you want to do is right there. If you just saw that, he tried to hit me with a force power and it did nothing to me. That's because, well, I probably just got lucky on the dodge, but I do actually know how to time it. As you see, like I'm dodging and I'm trying to basically bait them into using a force power. But anyway, the next thing that you really want to focus on is your dodges, okay? You really, as Emperor Palpatine, you always have to stay on the move. You don't always have to jump on top of boxes. You don't always have to jump in the highest locations and play cheap. And no, see that right there? I dodged his pull with good timing. Alright? So anyway, like I was saying, you don't... Oh, that's another thing. You can dodge behind them and you can also melee them from behind with your melee attack. I mean, yeah, that's obvious, but it's the same concept as my other videos where I was telling you to, you know, dodge forward, which will put you behind them, and attack with a lightsaber. And keep doing this until they catch on. You could do the same thing with Emperor Palpatine in his melee attack. You can dodge behind them, and if you're fast enough, you can use your melee attack, which he pokes him with his finger or something like that. You know, you can poke him to death, which sounds very wrong in my opinion, but anyway, like I was saying, you don't always have to go up in these high locations like I'm at right here. Don't ever just stay up there. Palpatine is a very good character, a very formidable opponent. You don't always have to play cheap as Palpatine. You just gotta know how to use him. You gotta know how to time your dodges, in which I'm getting juggled right now, so... You know, you can't really do nothing whenever you're getting juggled, just to be honest, but I think that's common knowledge at this point. So anyway, as I was saying, that I messed up on the timing, and pretty much I'm just waiting for my teammate to die, and you know, they usually always do, because I'm not trying to help them. You know, they keep on sending me hate mail. Oh, you suck, blah blah blah, you didn't help me, and I'm just here like, I'm handling them both by myself. I don't get what the issue is. I can't even block. I can't even block as Emperor Palpatine, and here you are. I'm getting juggled, and I can't block. And I'm still handling 2v1 situations. So you have a lightsaber, you can block and do all this other stuff. What is your excuse? Because I was not there to hold your hand. I mean, really. But anyway, like I was saying, you want to stay constantly on the move and time your dodges. I mean, there are times you don't time your dodges and you're just trying to stay very mobile and trying to stay constantly on the move. You know, like I said, don't always just go up in high locations. It can be done. It should be used very little. I mean, very seldomly. As you see me, I'm not going up in high locations and just camping there with lightning. It is a tactic, it is a technique or a strategy, yeah, I get that, but it's, to me, in my personal opinion, a very fucking cheap strategy. You know, and me, I don't feel any sense of accomplishment whenever, you know, oh, I got the kill just because I know I had an advantage using the map. I don't like that. I like it to be because of me, myself, of what I did. We're both on the same level of ground. We're not abusing the map mechanics. You know, like, okay, yeah, I get knocked across the map. I mean, what do you expect me to do, right? But no, as you see, I'm not really going up in high locations. I'm on the same level of ground that anybody else can get to, and I'm just relying solely on my dodges and, well, the timing of my dodges and remaining very mobile. You know, staying on the move, jumping, running, dodging, you know, and my force powers, you know, the objective as Palpatine, I see a lot of people complain about when I use Palpatine. They're like, oh, he's overpowered, he deserves a nerf. I'm like, no, he don't. You just gotta know how to fight against him. For one, Luke can hand Emperor Palpatine at any time. I mean, really, a good Luke can absolutely destroy Emperor Palpatine with little to no effort, to be honest. All you gotta do is rely on your rush attacks with Luke. I mean, and Anakin, he can literally pull you out of the sky and hit you with the force power combo. I mean, Obi-Wan can literally prevent you from dodging and cancels out your force powers. So there's no excuse. There really is no excuse to why you can't beat Emperor Palpatine with any of those three characters or a blaster character in general. You know, yeah, like Finn can melt Emperor Palpatine. Hell, who can? To be honest with you, I mean, whenever you actually know how to use characters, who can't melt Emperor Palpatine? That's just being honest. But that's from a very high skilled person, you know, talking about the gameplay, not your average player. And I'm not trying to boost myself or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not your average player, you know, so I have a different view from what the majority does. You know, the people who just play casually and stuff like that, you know, I have a different viewpoint than them because I do actually play competitive, you know, and I know all about balancing and all this and that. But anyway, like I said, as you see, I'm staying on the move, I'm staying mobile, I'm always dodging, and right here, this guy is actually being not so aggressive. Okay. Okay, well, actually, he gave me the time to emote. I like that. Alright, come on, buddy. Let's see what you got. Ooh, somebody who's not a dummy. He's actually using his rushes against me, his rush attacks against me. Oh shit, went into the fire. But, yeah, watch how this guy plays. I mean, he's not bad from what I've seen so far. I mean, he's waiting for me, he's timing my dodges, and he's using his rush attack to counter that. However, I am not that bad of a Palpatine, as we have seen throughout the course of this video. Okay, so that's another thing. You can, whenever they are block spamming, stop using two-handed lightning and switch to one-handed lightning, please. Because you're really doing nothing but wasting your lightning meter or your stamina meter. Because they're going to be able to block your two-handed no matter what. So you want to stick with one-handed to drain more of their stamina. Okay. So moving forward on to the next round. Oh. How dare you defy me? Okay, so here we are once again, Luke and Anakin Skywalker. And as you've noticed, I have been playing versus some decent players. You know, and then again, through most of the video, I've been getting mostly 2v1 situations. So for people to, you know, like, tell me, Wage, do you know what you're talking about, blah, 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 can you prove it? I'm like, yeah, I'm proving it right now. You know, like, me, I'm always over here, my teammate keeps trying to stay with me. You know, it's so funny, whenever I don't want anybody to stay with me, they stay with me. Whenever I actually want them to stick with me, they always run the opposite direction of me and never help me whenever I actually want the help. It's so funny to me how that actually works. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this 2v1 situation versus Lukey the Dookie and Panic and Anakin. Okay, here we go. And as you see, I'm basically doing chip damage. That's another thing I wanted to say in this video. Holy crap. That's another thing I wanted to say is whenever they are blocking, you want to hit him with the dual lightning, alright? While you're holding the dual lightning, you want to hit them with the chain lightning ability to do chip damage. And after you do that, you maintain the lightning, the two-handed lightning, and then you go into your electrocution ability, that's more chip damage, and then you activate your Dark Aura ability, and you do further chip damage, in which goes through their block. This is how you cripple them little by little, or over time. It's basically the blocking counter, and it also irritates people a lot. It actually gets them out of their defensive bubble. You know, oh my god, I have to block spam. It gets them out of that and actually forces them to fight, in which is exactly what you want. You want them to get aggressive, super aggressive, so that way it works to your benefit. They're no longer blocking, and you are jumping backwards and dodging and hitting them with your abilities and your lightning, and it's going to make them go back into dodging, and then you're going to start hitting through their block. It's going to make them go back to blocking. Sorry about that. And then it's going to make you start doing chip damage all over again. And all you have to do, as I said, is time their force powers by baiting them with your dodges, by dodging backwards. That's what you do with it. You bait them and make them exhaust their force powers, like that right there. That was a lucky dodge. But as you notice, how many times do you really see me getting hit with force powers, to be honest? It's all about baiting them. You see me dodging backwards? I'm like dodging backwards, trying to get him to use his powers. I don't have lightning, but I do have my electrocution, in which I will use right there. And then, as you see, I also use my chain lightning to hit him with chip damage, and now I'm using Dark Aura for chip damage. And he keeps trying to escape it by jumping, and I'm punishing him for jumping because he can't block while he's jumping. So no matter what he does. And that actually went through for some reason, because it gave the sign that I dodged it perfectly, but it still went through for some reason. Guess it's another bug in the game, I have no idea, but whatever, you know, it's EA and DICE, man. That seems to be what them and Bethesda do best, is bring out buggy products, but whatever, you know. Anyway, look right there, see how I'm dodging backwards? I'm trying to get him to use his ability. There we go. I baited him to use his force power, and if it would have tried to contact me, I would have dodged it, and it wouldn't have registered if I timed it correctly. There we go. Alright everybody, that's basically going to be all for this video. If you liked the video and found anything I said helpful, then please give me a like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you in my next video.